Welcome. Welcome to season 3 of Coffee with Kevin. Can't believe it's going on its third season, but we got renewed yet again. So let's start like we always do, and let's get caffeinated a little bit here. Okay. Today I want to talk about upgrades. Believe it or not, Washington, D.C. version of ServiceNow is right around the corner. There are early releases out there. There's posts being shared recently about Washington, D.C. coming. Some of you may still be in process of upgrading to Vancouver. Some may just be upgrading to Vancouver at the moment or upgrading your production instances. But I figured it was a good time to talk about upgrades and not just the family of upgrades. This was timely for two reasons. Three reasons. The Washington, D.C. version coming out, so we're going through the upgrade process again. But then also, I was doing a training course. I'm an authorized trainer, so I was doing a training course for the ServiceNow ServiceNow Administration Fundamentals the other day, and I was talking about upgrades and how upgrades happen and what you need to be looking out for as you're doing your upgrades and as you're an administrator of ServiceNow. The other aspect that this came to light or became even more timely was in a project for upgrading an application and came across some system administrators who were not aware that you also have to upgrade your applications. And I'll go into that a little bit more, but they were just going through and upgrading the family of release. So for instance, Utah to Vancouver or Tokyo to Utah to Vancouver to now Washington, D.C. They were going through and doing those upgrades, but not aware that you also now have to make sure that your applications that you have running are also upgraded and on the latest version. By upgrading your family of ServiceNow, it does not automatically upgrade all those applications to the latest and greatest. So what I want to do is show you a little bit here. So I'm logged into my ServiceNow instance here, and I'm just on a homepage splash page here. Now there's a couple of things that you can do here. One is there is an upgrade center inside ServiceNow. I've actually favorited it, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my favorites up and pin it there. So there's an upgrade center inside your instance. And this will actually help you go through and plan your upgrade. This can help you upgrade from not only patches, but if you do this drop down here, you can see I can upgrade releases. Now, there's DC, but it's the early release, etc. But as these become available, you'll see these different patches available and what have you. I am on Vancouver, and that's why I'm getting Vancouver patch notices. And that's under Upgrade Center in your application filter, Upgrade Center. And then I just went into Upgrade Preview. You may have to click Generate Preview or Refresh Preview to see what you have here. But this gives you a lot of details around what's going to happen when you take your system as it stands and go to the next patch, the next family, etc. And it gives you an idea of any of the problems that are going to be fixed for you. It'll also give you skip list predictions. So if you have done an upgrade, one of the things you want to check is your skip list of items and see if you need to revert. I'm not going to go into all of that, but there is a lot of information that's available to you here. So as you upgrade and plan your upgrade from Vancouver to Washington or from Utah to Vancouver, you can get upgraded, and again, always start on a lower environment. If you have a dev environment, start there. If you have dev and test, work through those. And there's some tips and tricks to helping you kind of migrate the changes so your review of your skip list becomes shorter and shorter. But as you do your upgrade, then you can go through your skip list and see, this customization or this configuration I put in was skipped, but I can revert back to the now baseline because the baseline is better. So there's a whole process for upgrading your system family to family. But what we're seeing is that people are leaving their applications behind. So when I talk about an application, we're in the GRC IRM space. in BCM. So we look at a lot of the risk and compliance, policy management, policy and compliance management, business continuity management, BIA, planning, crisis management. Those are all individual applications that are enabled on the system. Of course, you're licensed for them and what have you. Even things such as hardware asset management, all of those applications, customer service management, I can go on because there's a lot of them. They all have their own upgrade cycle. The good news is that all of the product units can release features quicker than having to wait for the full family release. And they can be smaller, right? And so you can keep up with those, and it's not this huge release every time the family drops. Now, there are some platform-related items that get upgraded that are used by most of the applications. Think workspaces, workspace underpinnings, code, and whatnot. So some of those will get upgraded, across all apps because they use the same core technology. But the application themselves have their own versioning now. So now once you move to a new family via Utah to Vancouver, for instance, you may have another version of the application that you are using available to you now. And it will have potentially either fixes or fixes and features, new features, things you can take advantage of. Sometimes when you go through the family release, it enables things in the core platform that application can now take advantage of. So how do I know where I am with all of those, right? There's a couple of different ways. You can look at your plugins. Okay, so if I'm going to close my upgrade center here, if I look at my plugins, I can come over here. I can see what I have installed. I can start seeing what applications are out there. I can either do it with this new layout, or I can get back to my classic app manager. Okay, and I can start filtering down all of the applications that I have installed on the platform and see if I need to upgrade them. Okay, so I can see it installed, and it'll start reducing those. I can look up a particular application through here. If I look up policy, I can see policy and compliance management here. I'm installed on the latest. It'll say upgrade here where it says installed. It'll say upgrade if you have an upgrade available to you. Okay, that's one way to do it, but that seems a little labor intensive, or at least looking through a big list. A quicker way to do that is to say, okay, am I on the latest and greatest? How can I know that? There is a table that you can get to where you can see your installed version and what the latest version is out there on the store. The table name is sys store app, and then you can get there to by doing a let's say sys underscore store underscore app dot list, and you can get to that list of store applications. So these are the applications that you have installed on there, what version you have installed, and what the latest version is out on the store. Now, for instance, if I was looking for my GRC apps, I could type in GRC here in the name, and anything that starts with GRC is going to come up. And it's going to show me the version that's installed and what the latest version is. So I can see the delta here. Now, you can create a report to show you if these aren't equal, highlight one of these cells. You could export this list to Excel and do it there if you're more comfortable there. But this is a good way to see, are you up on the latest versions? And again, this is independent of you being on the latest version of ServiceNow core application itself. So you can do these independently. And a lot of times between a family release, there will be multiple releases for your application, which is a great thing because you get features released to you quickly. How do you keep up with that? How do you know about that? Well, as a registered system administrator, typically registered through the support portal and what have you, there are notifications sent out that you have these applications installed. And what those look like, they look like emails that are similar to this that you'll get where, hey, we'll let you know there's a new version of the app that you have installed. There's a new version out there on the store. It's not going to upgrade it for you. It's not going to do anything automatic. You have to go and do it yourself, but it will give you the compatibility, what the release notes are on it, and you can go check it out yourself. It may also, there's two different kinds I've noticed, it may also look like this. Okay, this is telling you that there's a new version of this application and what it is. Then you can take those emails and go and look at what version you have, or go to your plugins and find that application and see what's the next version have. So if I looked at, let's take one of these for an example, GRC Operational Resilience. So let's go GRC Operational Resilience. Here it is. I'm up to date, so I have the latest installed. But if I also wanted to see what the release notes were, I can click on this, and that will open up the release notes on a new tab. So this will tell me everything that about the application itself, but it'll also tell me any of the release notes, what was fixed, what changed, what's new. It'll all be listed here, and I can make a decision. Hey, I'm going to upgrade to this version, or I'm going to wait because I don't really have time to do it right now, and there's nothing pressing from a fixed standpoint that is affecting me, and I can go ahead and make a plan on when to update these. If I wanted to see what was actually done in previous versions, because maybe I'm a few versions behind, I can bring up other app versions, and this will show me the versions behind. It won't show you everything, but it will show you the versions behind, so you can see where you're at and what's been fixed between where you're at and what the latest is. So there's a few different ways that you can manage your upgrades. And the big point of this is that there's two pieces to it. Managing the family of upgrade from Utah to Vancouver, Vancouver to Washington, D.C., as well as the supported versions of each of the applications that you're running in your organization. And it's a lot to stay on top of, but there are some tools like I've shown you here today that can help with that. And if you just get into a regular routine, checking that, and if you get those email notifications for me are great because it keeps all of our demo instances up to date. I get them and I can go and check. I have a running inventory of everything that's installed on the instances. If you'd like, I can share that with people. If you want to connect with me, go ahead and I can give you some tips and tricks on that. But through all those mechanisms, you can stay upgraded and up to date with the latest and greatest features and functionality of the system, as well as all your apps. So hopefully you got something out of that. If anyone else has any tips and tricks on that, someone else wants to go deeper into the Upgrade Center, make any comments, please post those comments, share those comments. But definitely, get ready because we're getting another upgrade soon to Washington, D.C. So maybe start poking around now, taking a look, take a look at your applications. If you need anything, connect with me, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll get in touch, and we'll talk about upgrades. So I'll appreciate everyone's time as always, and stay caffeinated out there, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see some more content, go ahead and click on the logo over here and go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got some other content out there for you, some other playlists for you to check out, and appreciate it. Go take a look.